Hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship?
What's up? I know y'all been watching Club Shay Shay. Me too. Today we got Miss Monique on the show. I'm sure she gonna have a whole lot to say. Hey, we're gonna get right into it. If you're looking for some good commentary, somebody to shine some light on the situations that's been going on this show, look no further. I got you. Let's watch this together and talk about it.
I'm grateful for that. I've been allowed to share a gift, because that's what it is. But when you start reading that, there's a part that says, who is he talking about? And there's another part that says, I'm grateful that I was able to put that work in to achieve those things, but all with humility.
You said we were talking off camera. You said, I want to get something. There's something I want to share with you, and I need to get it off my chest early.
Because that's why I'm looking at you now. Like, why are you going into that? Because I told you we could not talk till I dealt with you.
Okay,
listen. Okay. So let me say this to you.
So first off, he said that Monique told him there's something that she needs to get off of her chest that she wants to share with him. So it appears so far that she's come to get something off of her chest. Is that what Club Shay Shay is right now? I guess so. Is it like a therapy session, or is it an opportunity to spill the beans, spill the tea? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is about to come here? I know some of y'all probably already watched this and y'all already know. Let's get into it.
The day I watched Skip Bayless lose himself with you. And that's what he did. He lost himself. And when I watched Skip Bayless say to you, put them goddamn glasses back on, boy. Now, I know he didn't say goddamn and boy, but that's what everybody heard. And I was waiting for you to snatch his ass across that table, baby, and give it to him. I was like, Shannon, this is the perfect time. I don't condone violence.
Right.
I don't say be violent. But that day, I was in my feelings for 2 days. Me and my grandbaby could not watch you for 2 days. And my husband had to say, Mama, let's talk about this. Look at Shannon Sharp. He retired in 2004, but he could still get on that field and run touchdowns, tackles, everything. Had he snatched Skip Bayless across that table, he would have died in Shannon's arms that day.
Right.
So Brother Shay Shay handled that right. Now we can talk. Okay.
Wow. Wow. So, I mean, it is what it is. She's saying, like, Skip Bayless disrespected him from a white man to a black man. She felt like in that moment, he should have done something. She said she was in her feelings. You know what I'm saying? But once her grandbaby told her that, it would have went real bad if Shannon did that, she said, yeah, I understand. And so we got a little bit of racial highlighting going on here. See, for those of you who don't know me, who haven't watched my channel before, or who just don't know me, period, right? I spot out things like the agendas that's going on in the media. And so there's going to be like racial angles. There's going to be like feminist angles. There's going to be, just like there's going to be some slandering going on. There's going to be some black on black, tearing down going on. Cause I've seen a little bit, and I know, I watched the Katt Williams thing as well. And so most of y'all probably not looking at it from the perspective that I'm looking at it from. You know what I'm saying? You probably just like trying to see what's new, what secrets does she got? You know what I'm saying? Like, we here for the drama. You feel me? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all what's really happening behind the scenes and the truth behind all of this, because I want y'all to peep game. I don't want y'all to be deceived. So we already got a little bit of racial angle going on, talking about race issues, right? So let's keep it moving.
I just had to get that off of me because I know everybody around the world heard what I heard. No, he didn't say them words, but we heard it in his mind, and we was looking for you to say space and opportunity, Skip. Space and opportunity.
That's that be more coming out of you.
You know what? That's your Aunt Mary coming out of me. That's your Aunt Mary coming out of me, baby.
I got an aunt named Mary Nell. Monique, you and her are a spitting image. I remember the very first time I saw you, and my sister and I, we were talking, and my sister looked at me and I looked at her. I said, she's a spitting image of my Aunt Mary. And you are. Hopefully we're going to put pictures up when we run this. So you're from Baltimore.
Yes.
And I read everything that I read. When you were growing up in Baltimore, what did a young Monique want to be?
Just what I'm doing right now, baby.
You dreamed of this.
Just when I tell you, Shannon, from a little girl, I always wanted to be famous.
Okay.
Because I saw the Jackson 5.
Okay.
And I saw people screaming for them and hollering. And I'm like, damn it, I want them to scream and holler for me, but I couldn't sing.
Right.
But I knew somewhere I was going to be famous.
Right.
So I prayed to the universe, just let me be famous.
Hold on. She prayed to the universe. See, this is another one of these things I'm talking about, all right? Katt Williams on this show also said that he prayed to the universe, or he mentioned the universe, right, as the higher power. Now you have Monique mentioning the universe as the higher power. Now check this out. Historically, our people of my color, right, people of our color, right, have believed in a God, right, the God of the Bible, to be honest with you. Now, you know, because of the agenda that's going around and what's being perpetuated on the media, a lot of our people is switching over to, I believe in the universe, or I just believe in a higher power. I believe that we are gods, right? And you probably have fallen into this yourself. So this part of the agenda that's going on. We got racism, and then it's attached to Christianity. It's attached to the Bible. The Bible is supposedly racist, right? It's the white man's agenda. That turns into worship of the universe or some African spirituality or yourself. See what I'm saying? We got these victim mentalities, right? Which we were done wrong, but we responding with extreme victimization of ourselves, and it's taking us to unhealthy conclusions. Okay. So we already got it. We only 5 minutes in, y'all. We got some racial tension. We got the universe is God. See what I'm saying? It's the same old. All right, let's keep watching. I want y'all to peep game. Follow with me.
I didn't understand what all came with that. As a little girl,
Right.
You just see the lights, the glamour, the glitz, and you fall in love with that. So that little girl fell in love with the lights, the glamour, and the glitz. That little girl fell in love with a woman named Oprah Winfrey on a local talk show in Baltimore called People Are Talking. And when I looked at that woman, Shannon, I saw me. I saw a big woman with a big head, big shoulders, and big feet. And I said, if that woman can do that, so can I. So that's what that little girl was thinking about from Baltimore.
Are you the type person that if you see someone do something one time, that means it can be done again? Because you saw Oprah do it. You say, well, Oprah doing it. Why can't Monique do it?
I think Oprah, when I saw her do it as a little girl, was a push. However, had I not seen Oprah, my dreams would have still been my dreams.
Okay.
But when you see somebody that...
Now, before y'all get mad at me, I can appreciate what Monique has done. I think she is funny. I think that, she's a good star. You know what I'm saying? I like her shows and some of the movies and things like that. I can appreciate it. And her story is inspiring. You know, she saw Oprah, she wanted to do it and she made it happen. That's very inspiring. I'm not taking anything away from that. I just feel like when you have people like Monique, who is a black person of fame and power, right? She's reached a certain status. And so a lot of people look up to her. I don't like the fact that these people who have reached this platform are all joining together with this idea, right, that, everything is part of this racist agenda, which I think that's a big part of stuff that's going on, but it's not everything. And also this idea that the universe is God or we're God or something like that. Like, they have a lot of influence over our culture. And so they're the spokesman for most of us. And so we look up to them, and so we end up following them wherever they might go. So if they get led astray, we gonna get led astray. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it gets to the point where the fact that I'm even commenting negatively about Monique and some of the statements that she just made, a lot of y'all probably gonna write me off as a hater, or you know what I'm saying, or not looking at all the positives or whatever. While I acknowledge those things, there's something much darker going on behind the scenes. And I'm not saying that Monique is purposely doing this, but I'm saying that she's being influenced in the wrong direction, and she's publicly talking about this stuff, and other people are being influenced as well by a lot of these figures. All right, let's keep it moving.
That's inside of that space, because how many big black women are on TV even now?
Correct.
So back then, you didn't see any big black women on TV that was doing it. So I think had I not seen her, I would have still wanted to do it. But seeing her let me say, okay, it's possible. It's right there.
Right. What was Monique like as a little girl?
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
What you seeing right now, baby, ain't nothing.
So you've always...
listen, let me tell you something. A lot of people in this industry don't like me, right?
Yeah.
They didn't like me as a little girl, Shannon. I'm so used to this shit. People didn't like me because I was... Yes.
Yeah, you had a couple...
Say it, baby, now. I want you to say it.
You want me to...
Spell it out.
How about this here?
Hey.
You got 2 naps. You had 2 recesses.
Okay.
And you stayed in the same classroom.
Okay, but I did not wear a helmet.
Okay.
Now, since you want to go there, I did not have to wear that helmet, baby.
So,
yes.
Mon, as I sit here with you today, you didn't all of a sudden become this advanced. Why were you in that class?
I'm not going to play with you, Shannon. Okay, some of them damn words Katt was using, I was like, what? I said, oh, he's socking it to him. You know, I never connected with school because I always felt like it wasn't adding up. So when you're trying to teach me about the Boston Tea Party, but people that look like me is at the bottom of the boat, I can't connect to what you're saying. I never connected to, because I always felt like something was off. When they were teaching me about history, we were always the savages, and we were always the bad people. And then you saw these white people be all the heroes. And as a little girl, I said, something's not adding up. So.
All right. So I got 2 sides of how I view this. On one hand, what she's saying is true, right? We were taught wrong about our history, right? We were pushed to the side, or we were portrayed as savages and things like that. While on the other hand, right, the pure-born, purebred European, the American, right, was seen as a hero. All right. Yeah, that's true. And that's really something that was a problem. Now, all of us are saying that, right? It gets repeated on replay over and over and over again, right? It is true. But at what point does it become overkill to keep bringing it up? Now, he did ask her a question, and she's answering the question. But here's what I would say. She's only talking about history class. If y'all remember, in school, there were several subjects that we learned. All right, you got math, you got English, you got science, right? And you got history, and you got some other stuff, right? Now, what about English? English class, right? Did they teach us the wrong English? No, they taught us the right English. Did they teach us the wrong math? No, they taught us the right math, right? Did they teach us the wrong science? Not necessarily. So there was things, good things that we got out of school, all right? She wasn't feeling history class. A lot of our black people may have not been feeling history class. There's a lot of other things that we get out of school. Education is still a good thing, right? So let's keep a balanced perspective on this, because a lot of our young black people are no longer interested in school, and we're actually seeing that it's doing more harm than good, because education is beneficial. Now, does that mean you got to go out and get a college degree just to make it in life? Not necessarily. A lot of times college degrees don't actually get you what you're looking for. You end up having more debt than anything. But is basic education important? Yes. Okay, it is important. And so there has to be a healthy balance. So once again, y'all, we got the race stuff coming back up. All right, let's keep on moving and see what else we get.
I don't look at that as a bad thing. I just didn't connect with it. It made no sense to me.
So you never had a problem with the learning, but the disconnect was what they was teaching and what you actually saw. You like, what you teaching me is not what I actually see.
You know what, Shannon? It's a combination.
Okay.
It was a combination, okay? I wasn't grasping it and I didn't believe it. So it's a combination. And when you have a child that is full of energy and is sitting in a classroom that is closed in all day long and you're trying to tell me all that I'm not, it just did not add up to me. It just did not make sense to me. So there's no shame to it. When people say, was you in the soul class? Yeah. You know, we colored.
So when you...
Hey, baby, we colored. But don't overlook what you don't think is the package supposed to be.
Right.
See, again, we come back to the messenger. Nobody thought.
That's good. She said, don't overlook what you think it's not supposed to be. Right? So if you feel like something is wrong, she's basically saying, look into it. But here's the problem. A lot of us will go from one form of falsehood to another form of falsehood. As soon as you start looking into Black history and how we was lied to and everything, you about to end up way off in left field in some new religion that ain't even closely lined up to what they saying the old religion was, right? This Egyptian stuff, right? And you're going to be way off in left field. You're going to be thinking that you a god. You're going to be worshiping yourself, or you might worship the sun literally and the moon. I know people, I got family members. They say the sun is God. All right. It's going to get real wild. All right. You're going to find yourself becoming more and more bitter towards white people, as if all white people are evil. You're going to become racist yourself. Like, so be careful, because it's easy to jump from one lie to another lie. All right. That's dangerous, y'all. Just because you got out of one lie doesn't mean you're immune to getting into another lie. All right. So that's a big problem.
That I would be. And I'll go to my family. Like, nobody thought, not the fat one. She's not going to be the one. Not her. So I've been used to people doubting and counting me out. And for me, as that little girl, it's like one day. And that one day is right here.
Even your family. So how was your family? How was your brothers and sisters? Because I mean, look, I got a brother and sister, and you know, we joke with each other, and I could imagine if the situation were, if one of us was in those class, we gonna get them jokes off, Monique. It is what it is.
No one paid enough attention. Them the best, but that's what it is. Yeah. So even as I sit here with you now, with all that's going on in Hollywood and all of the stuff I had to go through, I've already been through it with people that you call your family. And I have to say, you know what? That has to just wash off when I know what I'm standing in and what I'm standing on.
You're absolutely right, Monique. My grandmother used to always tell us, she'd say, son, teeth and tongue may fall out, but family never should. And she stood on that. No matter what transpired in the family, no matter how bad someone had treated you, you should never fall out. But hearing you say that's different, because just because we're blood, that doesn't mean we're family through blood. But sometimes it's somebody on the outside that's not blood, that's actually closer family than the actual biological.
Oh, he's speaking on something now. See, the Bible says that there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Yeah, some people out there, they're going to be more loyal and care more for you, you know what I'm saying, be on your side more so than your own family, right? Sometimes you can't trust your own family. And so, yeah, family is not just blood, you know what I'm saying? There's ways that other people can be just as close as family, so.
We've been taught to say trauma is okay. We've been taught to say you mistreated me, you abused me, you violated me, you disrespected me, you belittled me, but I'm supposed to look at you at Thanksgiving and say, how you doing, Unc? That's what we've been taught. You swallow that pain. That's why people have such a problem with Katt Williams. People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And that causes a ruckus. And you would say, why are people upset with the truth? When you hear Steve Harvey say there are repercussions when you tell the truth. Well, remember when we were children? What would your grandmother tell you?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, because if not, there will be what? Repercussions.
Right.
Well, now it's got turned around. When you tell the truth, there'll be repercussions. So what's the opposite of that? Should I tell a lie and get a reward? So that's how we're rolling right now. That's how we're dealing with one another right now. So when it comes to family and people saying, oh, Monique, how could you? Listen, I want to live the rest of this journey that I have in peace. I want to be with my family, in love with my man, he in love with me. We watch our babies grow and develop their own families. I don't need anything in the midst of that, because you family, that I should accept that trauma. I should accept you not taking accountability for what you've done, what you've said, and we just washed the slate. That's why we're in the position we are now as a community, as a Black community, as a community in entertainment. Everybody's been so afraid to say, look what they did to me. Look what they said. And it's like, oh, well, listen now, we don't want to ruffle no feathers, especially if the messenger doesn't fit what people should think the messenger is supposed to look like.
Right.
And we keep repeating history, Shannon.
Is it a situation, Monique, where people look and say, well, you made it thus far, well, it couldn't?
That's real interesting. She says to tell the truth. And she says, we've been taught that if somebody does something to you, you have some type of trauma, you should just be quiet about it, right? And just sweep it under the rug. And she's saying that for her piece, it needs to be spoken. It needs to be communicated, right? It needs to be out there, right? Now, her example was, how she paraphrased it was, look what they did to me. So in this example, she's telling other people what this person, whoever has wronged her, has done to her. Now, while I believe we should tell the truth, while I believe that truth is important, while I believe that trauma is not okay, while I believe that we should communicate those issues, I don't believe that we should put people on blast unless absolutely necessary. And what I mean by that is, for example, a person wronged her, right? If she's unable to speak to that person face to face or herself because of a certain relationship dynamic or whatever, then she should tell someone she trusts so that they can speak to that person with her, go with her and confront the issue, right? And seek for reconciliation, seek for the person to apologize, right? Seek forgiveness, seek for the relationship to be restored. Or if the person does not wish to change their ways, then set boundaries, right? But I believe that either she or her and someone else should address the person themselves. This is what I believe should happen first, not go and blast them publicly or tell everybody what they did, right? And pretty much destroy their reputation. Now, you might say, well, if they did this, that, or the third, then their reputation deserves to be destroyed. I don't think that we should seek to destroy people's reputations. I don't think that should be the reason why we tell the truth. That's not benefiting anybody. That's just payback. Okay. I believe we should talk to the people involved, like I just said. Okay. So, y'all, it gets real tricky because truth sounds like a noble thing, but even the truth can be wielded to do harm, to do damage. Okay. Even the truth can be coming from a false sense of justice. You see what I'm saying? Even the truth can be perverted, right, in the way that it's used. So it gets real tricky, y'all. It's kind of like what she did and what she's doing and what Katt Williams did. You know what I'm saying? They just blasted people publicly. Now, once again, it's not black and white. So there's some situations where it's like, look, I'm not able to deal with this person directly, and for whatever reason, I feel that I need to call them out publicly, maybe this to get their attention. But I feel like that should be a last resort. And even sometimes I feel like it just shouldn't happen at all. I feel like some things just don't need to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of y'all probably gonna disagree with me on that, but I'm telling y'all, that's not it. You gotta be, there's a level which you gotta be self-righteous to feel like if somebody does something wrong, they need to be exposed. Because what is gonna happen when you make a mistake? What's gonna happen when you do something wrong? You got the same standard? You need to be exposed? Or you gonna go out and broadcast to the world your dark secrets? You're gonna broadcast to the world the sins that you've committed? Probably not. So it should be a last resort to do that to somebody else. Okay? As in a lot of situations, that's just not loving. It's just not loving.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Katt Williams said gatekeepers?
Yes.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, "You're like my mother. You're like my aunt. You're like my sister." Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, "I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler." I appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, "Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do." Now, let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, "Here you go." We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, "Brother, we appreciate you," with some interest on top, because I don't ever want nobody to think
Feel like they
me and my
gave up.
husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, "I got you," I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, "I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you." I said, "Good shit, Kevin," because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world,
Correct.
right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive produce. They was like, "Oh, this is incredible," because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, "We just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky." And Dave Becky said, "Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique."
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, "Hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me." He said, "Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now." I said, "Wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship?" Something.
Okay, see, here we go. Now, I know there's more to the story, and we're going to play it. But so far, she's saying Kevin Hart was helping her out, was being real generous. But then all of a sudden, she gets a call from a guy, right, who says Kevin Hart is taking back what he said. He doesn't want to do anything with you. So she calls Kevin Hart and confronts him, right? And she's like, "Hey, this guy is saying that you went back on your word." And Kevin Hart saying it's a miscommunication. But here's where Monique takes this. Are you going to let this white man get in between our relationship? Now, look, y'all, I know I'm going against the grain, but I don't even think it's necessary to highlight the fact that it's a white man in this situation. All right? I mean, actually, it sounds racist. I mean, are you going to let this white man get in between our relationship? What do you mean? He's just a man. Like, there could have been another white dude who was helping the relationship. So what's going on? So once again, we get this racially fueled language from our people, man, especially our people that have influence. It's racially fueled, man, and it'll make you feel a certain way. It's communicating the message that white people are evil. That's what it's communicating. Every time you listen to them start talking, it's communicating that same message. Not all white people are evil. I hope half of y'all know this, but this is kind of what's being communicated. This situation, like what she's explaining, is about Kevin Hart. But in that, she finds the opportunity to throw out the fact that this white man is involved in some shenanigery. All right. Now, black people do this too, which is what she's about to say. See what I'm saying? It's not just white people. So it's just trying to highlight the fact that somebody is white. I feel like at this point it's just unhealthy and it's toxic. That's how I feel about that. Let's let it keep going though, so y'all can hear what happened.
Then he said, Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're gonna talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again. So that's what we're faced with. When you allow somebody to come in between a relationship with a woman that you said, I'm like your mother. You said I'm like these things. I didn't ask you for that. So everything that baby was saying sitting here, everything he was saying was on the up and up, because when you hear people say, get the anger out your heart. Oh man, no one's saying he's lying. No one ever said I was lying. It's so easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Right.
However, when it comes to Tyler Perry, I will not allow you to discount or devalue, because that is your voice on that audio. Mm-hmm. Remember on Good Times, mm-hmm, when Penny's mother was whooping up on her, and she had recorded it? Mm-hmm. That's you on tape. So how does it go from you saying you're going to give me an apology to now I owe you an apology?
But what do you want an apology for?
What could I possibly owe you an apology for when you've admitted? See, when Lee Daniels says to me, because Cookie from...
So, on the Kevin Hart thing, so apparently Kevin Hart ghosted her after making promises to help her out. She says she never heard back from him. It's been 2 years. That's messed up. If that's true, that's messed up. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Why, in this moment, do you need to call out Kevin Hart and expose what he did to the world? What benefit is that to us? What benefit is that to you who are watching this? How does that benefit anyone? Okay? There's no real benefit. Now, maybe you're trying to get Kevin Hart's attention so you can get closure on the situation. I wish there was a better way to do that. Now, on the other hand, what Kevin Hart did to her, if it's true, is bad, because another thing that has happened and that we have, as black people, have gotten ourselves into, and it is a result of slavery. And so those people, those slave owners, right, and slave supporters, those specific people, not all white people, right, those people who supported that and allowed that to happen, right, and participated in it as well, got us to the point where we're every man for himself. We got the slave mentality, every man for theyself, so that it's hard for black people to unify. It's hard for us to unite. And so we backbite each other. We stab each other in the back. We step on each other to try to climb to the top instead of pulling each other up. And so that is bad, because our people are tearing each other down. Kevin Hart appears to have torn Monique down, or at least contributed to it. But Monique is also doing it by destroying his reputation publicly on one of the most popular shows on YouTube right now. Why are we attacking each other? Why are we tearing each other down? Katt Williams blasting other black comedians. Why we got to do that? Rappers dissing each other, killing each other. What's going on? See, we're falling into the trap. While we saying that we woke and that we understand and that we see what's going on behind the scenes, and we get the puppet masters, right? We understand the puppet masters, the white man. What the thing that we're saying that the white man wants to do, which is to steal, kill, and destroy, the things that we're saying that he wants to do, not all white people. That's what y'all done fell for, right? We're still doing it to each other. We still killing and destroying each other. And in this, Monique is not calling out the CEO or whatever media company they was working with at this point. She ain't calling out none of the people who is cutting her check that was involved in that situation. She ain't calling out none of the people who were in power at that time who may have also done her wrong. She calling out Steve. She calling out Kevin. I don't know if she calling out Steve, but she mentioning other people in her field of her color and what they did wrong. But just as much as y'all talk about the white man being crooked and stuff, why ain't we calling out any of these people that's behind the scenes with the power that's cutting the checks, anything they might be doing wrong? Maybe it's because they cutting the checks. But we don't got no problem with exposing each other, destroying each other's reputation, potentially hurting each other's careers. That's justice. That's truth. But no truth is being given for these people in power who are probably white, who is using you, abusing you, manipulating you, underpaying you, right? You ain't calling them by name. They names don't never get mentioned. But they the main ones. They the ones apparently got Kevin Hart in the position to do you wrong. But none of their names is being brought up. I think something is wrong with that. It seemed like a double standard to me. So I got nothing against Monique. I pray for her and I hope that, she continues to do well in life and her family is blessed and everything. But I do feel like a lot of our influential black celebrities have been influenced in the wrong direction, have been deceived and misled. And while they talk elegantly and they say things that resonate with our blackness and our experience, and while they have reached statuses that we admire and hope to get to one day ourselves, they themselves are still misled. They don't have it all together. They don't have it all figured out. They get on here and they speak on things not in the best and most beneficial way. And I don't think that we should hinge on their every word. And I'm not saying Monique thinks that you should hinge on her every word. I just feel that at the end of the day, no matter how big we get, no matter how famous we are, we still can engage in pettiness, gossip, slander, backbiting, bitterness, envy, jealousy, rivalry. I just named out several sins, sinful attitudes, sinful heart conditions humans operate in on every level, rich or poor, in every society, in every community. So as much as we admire them, according to the book that I live by, they're operating on the level of high schoolers, teenagers. I can look up to some stuff that they say and that they've done, but not everything. For me, this is immature. And we're going to say, oh, it's speaking truth. It's truth. We exposing them. We calling them out. There's a way to do that without going public with it. I'm not saying let everything slide. Offenses need to be dealt with. Jesus says if your brother offends you, go to him. If you've offended him, he even says, go to him and fix the problem. Resolve it between you and him. If he doesn't listen, take 2 or 3 other people who can help mediate to resolve the issue for the sake of forgiveness and to restore the relationship. That's the goal. Not to administer consequences or judgment, but to restore the relationship, to make peace. And then if they don't listen even to the 2 or 3 who are agreeing with you that this person was in the wrong and that they need to make up for it, they need to apologize, there needs to be reconciliation. Then he says, take it to the church. Now, a lot of y'all don't have a church, so you really can't do the 3rd step. So I guess the 3rd step for her and for Katt is to get on Club Shay Shay and tell the whole world the wrongs that people have done to them, while themselves not admitting to having ever done anything wrong, which I don't believe that. But I don't think that that's the right way to handle it. That's what I'm saying. So don't misunderstand me. Nevertheless, we pray for them. I pray that our people would come out of this deception. I pray that our people would find the one true God and his son, Jesus Christ. Yes, I am a Christian. I pray that you wouldn't allow racism and slavery to throw you into even more deception and lies, while calling yourself wise, becoming a fool. I pray that that does not happen to you. And if it has, I pray that you reevaluate. The sun is not God. The moon is not God. You are not God. You can't do anything God can do. You can't even stop trouble from coming your way on a day-to-day basis. You can't keep yourself from stubbing your toe. When you get sick, you can't immediately heal yourself. You can't raise your loved ones from the dead. You can't escape death yourself. You have none of the means by which someone will call themselves God. Now, here's a quick lesson. We are made in the image of God. So we get to share in some of the functions of God. Okay? God allows us to rule over things. He allows us to create, right? We create things. We create children. He allows us to have power and abilities to do things, but not all things. Some things are exclusively reserved for the one true God. We are simply God's image bearers. Don't get it twisted. So while there are some areas that we operate in that God has given us a responsibility that are similar to his own responsibilities, God rules, God has authority, God has power, God creates. We're not God. Don't get it twisted. Reevaluate everything you've been told, not just in school in the history books by the white man, but what these people are telling you also. If you're blessed by this, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Gary D. Pod. I love y'all and peace out.